Well, good morning, good morning. I think it's gonna be cool again today. Then next week maybe snow for half of the United States. And it don't seem like they know, do they? Well, I got my TART pan out, got it cleaned up, and then I got my false graph quiche pan out. So if I was going to make a recipe for a lady's luncheon or something, I would use the TART pan. But since I'm doing another quiche today, but this is going to be a little different swing on it, I'm going to use it where it's not has any gluten in the crust. We're going to try it with our buckwheat flour and our almond flour. Now on your almond flour, make sure y'all check yours. I just buy the great value. But make sure you check your almond flour and smell it and make sure it's not old, because you have to realize these are nuts, ground up nuts. So you know how old pecans and stuff smell and taste. Well, you don't want your flour or your almond flour to get the same, so you have to smell that and make sure that it's not rancid. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a cup of my buckwheat. Now that brown in that buckwheat is the hulls. Brown in that buckwheat is those hulls. Get it down pretty good and make it exactly. This is one of those recipes you need to have pretty much the same. I'm just going to put that in my pan. Move that out of the way. Now I'm going to go in with my almond flour. And I'll push that down. The almond flour is kind of like the consistency of brown sugar, so you want to push it down in there to make sure you get a cup or half a cup or whatever you're needing. Okay, so now we've got a cup of your buckwheat flour, a half a cup of your almond flour. If I don't get stuff put back up as I use it, then it'll just not get put up right, and then I'll be mad at myself. Now you could use almond flour, you could use rice flour in this, you could use, there's several flours you could use in this. I've got some xanthan gum that you might use, but we're going to try it with just our basic ingredients and see what it does. Trial and error. So let's do this a teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to put my nutmeg, because I like nutmeg in everything. But no, I like nutmeg in my crust, quiche crust. So we're going to try that, get that. Just grate you some off into your pan there. It's already going to have kind of an earthy flavor from that buckwheat flour. But that'll give you really a nice little, you can do this we're going to see how it comes out, but you could put your cinnamon in there, you could put whatever you like in there. So also, I'm going to give a little sugar. nothing like a little cane sugar. And I'm just going to get me a baby. I'm talking about just like 2 tablespoons. I don't want a whole lot. I don't want it too sweet. I may just do 1 tablespoon. So let's just say 1 tablespoon. Let me get my little, I'm kind of get this mixed in the pan. Boy, that's nutmeg you can sure smell. Let me push this over. There's just not enough space in here, but I do the best I can. Okay, give me a fork. Need me a little fork to mix this. So I'm going to put me just a little of this sweet cream butter in there. Probably, I just want a flavor, so I'm not going to put a lot of it. I just want that buttery flavor. You don't have to do this, I'm just doing it. To try to see, because we're going to need about a half a cup of that, so let's use our that wasn't even, I wouldn't even say that was a tablespoon. So we're just going to go ahead and do our half a cup of oil of some kind, and let me just eyeball it, because I can't. I'll just rather eyeball it around so I can get that mixed in with that. Okay, that's about a half a cup there. You can do this in a food processor or however you want to do it. But buckwheat, you don't want to mix too much here to get really dry. But you have to make sure you got it in there good though. That's one thing about it. Like I said, I've never made this like this in a TART before, or a quiche. Let's just say quiche. So I just want to take that and get all that mixed till it's dark. Then you know you. Oil goes a long way, but with regular flour. Now we're just going to see about how well it does with buckwheat flour, because I'm not sure, but I guess we'll find out, won't we? There's still some places over here you need to get out that haven't got. It'd probably be best if I'd have took it in a mixing bowl and then did it and then put it in here, but because of these ridges, But I mean, it's not a bad thing. I think I'm going to start eating more buckwheat flour breads and stuff because I think that gluten is kind of causing me some skin problems, and might be because I'm so tired all the time. Could be gluten. I think before they knew what allergic to gluten was, everybody just took whatever they could and ate what they could. And, well, let's let that set for just a minute. I've got that pretty damp there, but you want it to. Okay, I had to stop a minute, and I thought, well, I'd let this kind of rest and kind of get moist, more moist, and then we would come back and check it. And that's what we're doing, is we're going to just see about how this crust, you know, I'm not sure. I think that'll be more like I don't think that's going to stay together. I really do. But I'm not sure. We're going to bake it and we're going to find out. If it'll stay together, I'm thinking I may need a binder in it, so let's try something else, because I don't think that's going to stay together. I'll tell you what I'll do. Just let me break an egg. Might try an egg. Now sometimes you can use that as a binder. And I had some egg whites. So this is let's just kind of see if we can remix this and use that egg as a binder. It might work. I don't know. We're going to find out, aren't we? Just pull all that off there. And we'll see. Now the crust that I made before the buckwheat, you had to use butter, but let's just try this. I don't know if it's... I'll make sure that's in there real good, that egg. Then we'll see. Let's just use our fingers and see if we can pat that out. Well, it seems like it's a little better. That seems a little better. So let's get it pushed out all the way over, because you're going to have to. And I think I've got the right amount of ingredients, but you never can tell when you're experimenting like that. I know this is a healthy crust. If we can just get the darn thing to stay together. Let's move some of that so we can get it up over there on the side. Now I think if this was a sweet recipe with your sugar and stuff, or it would be a lot. And since we're going to make a quiche out of it, or an egg dish, I'm not going to say exactly, it could be, you could use anything, that it might, that egg might hold this together. Anyway, but you know, I don't know. Like I've told y'all, I'm no Martha Stewart. But she's got all them people that work with her that are smart on all this stuff, and you know, things can look nice, but if they don't work, they just don't work. I'm trying to make sure I've got that just about right on the bottom of that pan. Maybe. Now that egg added some stability to that, if it's just enough to hold it. And you know, I may, but I want my egg dish pretty deep. I was fixing to say, this pan would be a lot better for this kind of crust because you can lift this bottom portion out. This you're going to have to try to lift out, but we're not going to change it. We're just going to pray that this one works. And I'm just going to go ahead and mold it around the pan and make sure it gets in there. I hope y'all are having a good day today. Mother and I have got to go to the eye doctor this afternoon. I had the appointment. They said they're going to do extreme testing on my eyes, maybe for the macular degeneration. So, because I don't know what kind of testing, but I've got a great eye person, and she wouldn't let anything happen. So, it's probably her wanting to get some kind of something done. Now that's going to be pretty solid, y'all. Now I'm just wondering on this if I should blind bake this or just go ahead and put my eggs in there. I feel like that the eggs will hold that crust kinda together. So we might just go ahead and let me wash my hands. Decisions, y'all. Let me get Big Jean's mess kind of cleaned up here. Now we'll let that set just a little bit and let it kind of get in there together. And I'm not going to make a big thick. Crust. I mean, not crust, filling. I want about, let's see, that's 3, 4, and now I've got some egg, whites that I'm going to use. had to let one of the kitty cats in because it's pretty cool. So what I may do now, let me see here. I have some of these, but I'm not sure that I can use those. I should have set those out, and I didn't. Get up and see what we have. Okay, what I'm going to put in there today is let me get this bowl. I'm going to take these, and I'm going to put some green onions. Not a lot, just my frozen green onions that I buy on sale, and then I chop them and put them in my freezer bags. And let me get a few of these. I buy these great value steak cut French fries because if you don't want to peel a potato, you don't have to with those. Let me just, I have to put them in a new freezer bag so that so they won't get rancid after I get out what I want. I'll use out of there what I want of these potatoes. And let me move this crust right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and put our eggs in there to get that out of the way. We got a little shell. Gotta get some little shells out. You don't want shells in your stuff. Okay, so I'm just doing 4 eggs. I'm not going to do anything else. Let me get this kind of. Now the only meat that I have is some white turkey, and I don't think I'm going to use it. I was fixing to, but then I thought, no, I'm not going to use that. I'll use some Mexican cheese. I'll show y'all what we'll do here in a minute. Let me get that. Let me see. I probably need a little more egg whites, so I'm just going to use some that I have so that we can get rid of them without wasting them. Now, most of the time I would put ham or something into that, but I'm not today. So what I want to do is just nuke these just a little bit, just to get the frozen off of them. I had those bags of hash brown that I bought a few days ago on sale. So we get things kind of cleaned up. As I go, because I've got to do more apples today, y'all. I'm not going to say that I won't buy apples on sale again, because I will. I've done it, and I've said it, and I've redone it, and I've said it, and because when I see them, I don't get out of the way, chicky, That old chicken just sits there and looks at them eggs and looks at me, and he probably looks in there, and I've got my rooster in yonder and another chick's in there. Okay, let me check these. I put them in there for two minutes. I'll let them go over the whole 2 minutes. Let me see, I'll try to clean up as I go. If I don't, see, I buy that bread, and this is $1.59, and I put that in the freezer, and now it's re-thawed back out. It's a brown roll bread. Mother loves it, wheat bread, and now it's just as good as when I put it in there. Let me check the taters. Okay. Now those, see, they take less cooking than what you would do if you were making fries from the big potatoes. They do need to bake a little, but by the time you get them in that quiche or whatever that you're making for that day, they will be done. You don't have to worry with your... Sometimes if I have to make sure they're really done, because sometimes on one piece of this potato, like, it'll be kind of firm and the other end will be not as firm, so when I cook it, I have to make sure they're all... See, these are kind of... I don't know if they pre-boil them or because they're not raw potatoes. I really don't think so. It might be because they're frozen. They take on a little different makeup than they would if a fresh potato, but they smell like fresh potatoes, and I use them. They're great value, like I showed you. So I think those are okay. Let's just put a few in that. Now, get that out of the way. Let's take these, and I'm just going to spread them around. Spread them around my crust there. Let's get that off there. Lord, don't waste a drop. Don't you waste a drop, Billie Jean. So we just kind of pour those around. So now what I'm going to do with this, I buy this kind of like great value finely shredded Mexican style 4 cheese. Well, we need stability in our crust, so let's just put this with our potatoes around there to give that bottom a little more stability. This is just something I'm thinking, and we're going to try it. Since you're going to have cheese anyway, let's just put this all in there. Kind of in the cracks and the crevices, and just get it in there. Now, we'll go ahead and put about a 1/4 cup. Y'all have to eyeball this stuff, because I do not, that cheese is going everywhere. Because I don't have a recipe. So let's just see. It'd been good if I'd had some of those spinach, but I didn't buy any. I've got spinach leaves. That would have been good in this. Now to make sure I'm going to put about a teaspoon more of that and pepper down in it, so. I'm not sure, but that'll give us enough kind of glaze over that. I'll take my fork, because that'll rise up the eggs. It was kind of like pineapple in that, didn't it? It's in potatoes. It's not pineapple. I'm going to push that egg wash or that egg up onto the side of that. Let's see. See how that holds or doesn't hold, and it may crumble off, but I bet it'll be good. What's that? You have to make sure that's really up there. Get it up on that side as far as you can. That's your main issue. I'm thinking with this kind of crust, it's going to be your main issue is keeping that. Probably one more egg would have been good, you know. Okay, let's get a little bit of paprika. Let's use a little paprika, just to gives it a little flavor. Now we'll put that at 375 oven. Then we'll check it. Okay, let me try getting this out. Put it in there, we'll put it bake. And let me turn this down to 375 for 20 minutes. And then we'll see what our concoction comes up with. See if we can, let me get this put back in here. Well, I bought some poblano peppers. And I'm gonna make chili rellenos out of them, and I think that'll be good. Stuffed chili rellenos. I haven't done any Tex-Mex food on here, but I've cooked it all my life. It's just I hadn't thought about it. I think I made homemade chili on here once, but I can't remember. There's too much water under the bridge for me to remember what all I put on this, all these videos. Some of them are not done well because I didn't know anything about a camera. I didn't know anything about editing. I'm still not real schooled. I've gotten some. I've learned a myriad of tricks of the trade, I guess you'd call it. But I do the best that I can. Like I told y'all, when somebody gripes at you or says anything to you about doing something, saying, "Excuse me, I'm doing the best that I can." That's all that needs to be said. Get there, goat. Okay, I've got this kind of cleaned up. So we're just going to wait for our quiche. We're going to call this one a quiche because it's not, I don't know, it's Billie Jean's invention of something. But if it works out, I'll put the recipe, I'll write the recipe. And, oh, Chicky Chick. I was about broken Mr. Chicky Chick. Okay. Now I think I've got that kind of not by no means cleaned up, but we'll be back when this is, I don't know how to pause my camera on this new app for some reason. I thought it had a pause on it, but I can't find it. It's probably there, but I'll have to look for it instead of just stopping the whole camera. Okay, y'all, I've turned the egg pie off, and let me get my pot holder, and we'll go over here and check and see what it's done. Now it looks pretty. It looks good. It looks good. Let me get underneath it. It's hot. Oh, there. See, it looks really nice. But I'm still, remember, we're testing the buckwheat crust. Buckwheat almond crust. Now maybe if we just let that cool down, that feels firmer. The crust feels firm. Now if I'd have put it in that TART pan, this TART pan where I could have took it off, I know that it would have worked. So we're on the right track. We're on the right track. That's firm. The potatoes, see how they cooked in it? The crust, you never know if it will still be good. Like I used to tell Mama, it will still be good even if it falls apart, which is true. But I wanted a crust that I could. So now I'm on the quest to do a buckwheat crust, just like I was on the biscuit quest, and I got that one taken care of. So what we'll do is, I'm just sitting here judging, looking at it and thinking about it. Now see, that might stay together. I don't know though. It's still, it might. But with those fluted edges, I'm not so sure. If I go around that, see how that's lifting out. I don't know if y'all can, let me try to get that pulled in and see if y'all can see how that's, let's see if I can get it on anywhere. Get it, see how that's, see that's lifting off. If you see how that's lifting off there. Let's see. Now, see how that's lifting off down there without crumbling. And I'm not, let me pull that back just a little bit. Maybe, see how that's lifting out of there. You can see how that's lifting away from the pan. So we might be in luck. We might be in luck if we go ahead and go around this whole thing before it gets too set and just pull that, let me get my other mat. Now you can see how that's pulling away from that pan. It's crumbling some of it, yes. That side is more crumbly. That side is more crumbly. But, see how it's lifting out there? That's what you're wanting. So that egg that we put in there is kind of, I'm trying to move this so y'all can see what I'm doing. This is the way I would check and see if a recipe is working without, because you know if you go through this recipe and it'll go out of this fluted pan, then you're going to be okay with a straight pan most of the time. Now see how that I'm going on around that. Now that's, see how it's lifting out quite a bit. And this may not interest y'all at all, but this is the way I judge a recipe, is when I'm seeing if I can get that out and how it's lifted away from the pan. And that's done pretty good there. There was only a little side over here that was kind of crumbly, but the more we let that cool, I just wanted that undone with this pan so that you can see that black edge around it where I pulled that away. So now we'll let that cool, and it might be okay once, but I know the pie itself, the quiche itself, is going to be fine. Let me go ahead and back this out, and we'll just let that sit there and cool. Now see, that's crumbly right there, but this is harder. So we're just going to let it cool all the way down. That's what I think I need to do. And then, well, at least to where you can get it out of there. Because these pans, these false grout are made out of clay. So if I'd have done that in a metal pan, it would have cooled off quicker. But we're just experimenting. I'll be back when it's time to cut it, and we'll see what goes on. Okay, I've let that only cool about 10 minutes, but I'm hungry. So when you're hungry, let's just kind of cut that. Cut that like that. Let's see. We can get this. Get this out. Make sure it's cut, because that first piece is a doozy, as they say. I'm worried about them being around those fluted areas, but even if your first piece is a doozy, I'm pretty sure the second piece won't be as bad. I get that kind of down right. I want to make sure that that's down under there. And if you can ever get your this quiche down under there. See, now some of that, well, that wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad, y'all. I see that come out pretty good. You can see the bottom of it. So we might, next time we might use a little more we might have to get some xanthan gum. If you put that in something, that you can buy that at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. Let's cut that and see. Let's see what that looks like. Now, let's see. Now that held together. No, that's a good quiche. Even though the little bit of dregs, which I like them, give them all place bit again. That held together okay. See? Well, it's got a good nutty flavor. That's what I like about that. That's really good flavor. So now, I'll cut my other piece. See, the cooler that gets, I think it's going to be, and once you get that first piece out, we'll put hers on some of our Haviland oak leaf pattern. Let's see now. Let me get that spatula. See, that come out really well. So I think we might have a wiener there. And we'll see. But I think in all, this is a good buckwheat crust quiche. So it's gluten-free, at least. And then we can work on the other things to get it free of other things and try to keep the good flavor that you want when you eat a quiche or egg pie. My brain is turning right now that this crust would be a really good crust for any kind of fruity whipped cream. Well, it'd be good for any kind of dessert. If you added more sugar, then it would be a stabilizer. But okay, so that's what we've got today. Let me pick it up so y'all can. Well, I'll just push the camera in. Let me pull this up and let me push y'all in. And that's what we're going to have today. We're going to have our buckwheat and almond flour crusted quiche with diced potatoes. I wish y'all was here to have a bite of quiche with us. We'd have a cup of coffee and talk. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.